Well, over the last 20 years, tens of millions of shoeboxes filled with Christmas gifts have been distributed to needy children around the world. It's known as Operation Christmas Child, a ministry of Samaritan's Purse, which is led by Franklin Graham. This year, the project expects to surpass the 100 million mark in total shoeboxes that have been given away. Now, last year in Canada, over 672,000 shoeboxes were collected, and Samaritan's Purse Canada hopes to exceed that for this year. And we have a guest to tell us more about it, but first, watch this.
Since 1993, with your support, Operation Christmas Child has reached children in 130 countries with gift-filled shoeboxes. Your gifts will help us reach 100 million shoeboxes, sharing hope, faith, and God's love with millions of children this year.
Well, they look pretty happy.
They do.
But joining us now is Randy Crosson, who serves as Director of Operation Christmas Child Canada. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks
Randy,
for having me.
you have one of the most exciting jobs around.
I do. I get to go and do things that most people just dream of. It's really amazing.
To be there when the kids actually open the boxes must be just so fulfilling.
It's interesting because it's such a joy to watch it because they get so excited like you saw in that video. But you start to realize the difference between their world and ours. I was at a distribution with a little guy. We were opening up his box and just laughing, and he had grabbed a piece of candy, stuck it in his mouth with the plastic on it. Oh, no. So we're trying to get it out of his mouth, and he won't let go of it, right? And we laughed, and I finally got it out, and he got to put it in his mouth and just enjoy it, right? And it hit me that he'd never had a piece of candy before. Like, he didn't know how to handle a piece of candy.
Wow.
But, just the joy in doing that.
Yeah. Now, Randy, we see different kinds of boxes here, and there's kind of a variety of ways people can do this. Maybe you can describe what the options are.
Well, this is our standard box, and a lot of people like to use those, but, we really like to encourage people to try some different things. The box you have there, for example.
Well, this box can be reused for any number of things, and you put stickers right on the cover. This is for a girl 10 to 14 years old, and so it is filled, and I'll get to the letter in a moment, with craft things and things that girls of that age may enjoy, and jewelry, of course. Oh, look, a Canada bracelet.
Put those in. They like those.
They like
really do.
this. All right, I want to get to this letter because this is very sweet. This was written by Shannon. Dear friend, my name is Shannon. I'm sorry, I'm not sure. There it is. I am 11 years old and I go to Senior Patrick Burns Junior High School. I like to skate and play volleyball. I have an older brother and younger sister. I also have a pet dog. I live in Calgary, Alberta. So they tell the child that's going to receive the box a little bit about themselves, and it develops kind of a relationship. It's not just packing a box for some unknown person. You feel like you're giving a part of yourself too.
And I think as well it creates a connection with that child to the rest of the world around them. It just opens up their eyes to what the potential in life is. We hear so many stories of kids that are, well, we just had one. I was walking through our office the other day and a young lady had come in. She'd received a box when she was a child, came to Christ through the program, and just wanted to come to Canada. So now she's going to university here and she just wants to volunteer in our warehouse. It changes the paradigm a little bit for them.
And besides some toys and those type of gifts, there's some hygiene items I see in there as well, a toothbrush, face cloth, and soap and all that kind of thing.
Exactly. The only things we don't recommend putting in there are things that are perishable or that have expiry dates on them because of the shipping process.
So chocolate probably wouldn't be a good thing.
No, it could freeze or melt, right?
Yeah.
Especially some of these countries, it would melt.
Absolutely.
Now, there's another box there that looks kind of interesting.
This one. I brought that one along intentionally. It's just a really neat box. It's a toolkit for a boy that's 10 to 14. And there's tools inside it, there's a note inside it, there's all those sorts of things. It's got the other things in there as well, but targeted for a boy that age. But it gives him something that he can actually do something with.
Creative options.
Neat idea. And it's interesting, they do little jobs like, we don't think of it much in terms of a child and being able to earn an income here. We do that as sort of a fun thing for a young person to cut lawns or something like that. But for these kids, it's actually a way to make some money.
And I know that it goes beyond the shoeboxes as well, Randy.
Certainly does.
You say that this is the world's most effective means of sharing the love and message of Jesus to a world in desperate need. Talk to us about the greatest journey.
Well, it's interesting. Like with our distributions, we just freely offer these. And there are many countries where we can't share anything about Christ there, but it's just the act of doing so that's really interesting. But where we are allowed to, we offer a little booklet at the distributions. It's the greatest gift of all. And it tells the story of Christ, right? And from death to resurrection. And it gives an understanding of the gospel. About a week later, the kids are invited back to a Bible study. It's a 12-week one. It's called The Greatest Journey. We go in beforehand and train teachers on how to use the material. And it's interesting because a lot of these teachers, they have no idea what Sunday school curriculum is. They've never seen it before. And the curriculum that we've developed actually helps them develop more curriculum, their own class studies, right? But this one, the first 4 lessons shares the gospel with them, so it gives them a chance to receive Christ. And last year there was 65,892 kids that filled out the decision card for the first time.
And that was from the Canadian.
That's just the Canadian boxes. That's right.
65,000 children
who received Christ.
Received Christ just in Canada as
just
a result
from our Canadian boxes.
How many would have gone through the curriculum?
Well, 130,000 signed up, 110,000 graduated.
Wow.
So it's a huge numbers, right? The impact's enormous.
And upon graduation, they get
a Bible.
A Bible.
And a certificate. I don't have one with me,
Right.
but they get a little Bible to read. And it's interesting. I was with a man, a grandfather, who said he's finally started to understand the Bible for the first time. He's from another culture and he was reading the Bible. And it's designed in a very simple language and he just loved it, you know? So, but with the curriculum, the second part basically gives them the Christian faith, how to live a Christian life. And the last part teaches them how to share their faith. So in that section, they're asked to pray for 9 people and then invite them to their graduation and then share their faith with them over time. So the number of churches that actually get started through Operation Christmas Child is enormous. Wow. Just in the past few years, I was talking to our fellow from Uruguay, and they've started over 125 churches just in the past couple of years. So it's amazing what God's doing through this. And it's all, you know, it's freely given, which is really neat.
And the collection week is coming up, but before we talk about that, we want to maybe give us an idea of kind of the journey of the shoebox from when they drop it off at a collection area. And with the help of some video, I think we can help describe kind of what happens when the shoeboxes are delivered to the drop-off area.
Sounds good. Well, of course, you pack your box and get it into your church.
Yeah.
They then take it into a collection center in the local area. The whole church will get it over there. And then it gets brought into our warehouse. That's our Calgary warehouse that you're seeing there. And we get volunteers. We have about 12 to 14,000 volunteers each year who come through our warehouse.
Wow.
And they come in for about a 4-hour shift each. And it's just a lot of fun. And they get into a sort of race mode. See who can pack the most boxes. And once they're packed in a container there, we start prepping for shipping offshore, usually in about August, September, and making arrangements to receive these in country. And we work with volunteers in those countries as well. Globally, we probably work with about 30,000 volunteers, because there's a whole bunch of them offshore as well that distribute the boxes. We do them all through our local churches throughout those countries.
Excellent. Now, it must be fun just to be there and be one of these volunteers.
They do have fun.
We knew that was coming, so
Yeah.
we wanted to get that. So now the boxes get then brought over to the various countries, and I was looking on the website, some of the ones that countries it's going to this year: Costa Rica, El Salvador, Equatorial Guinea, Guatemala, Haiti, Ivory Coast, Nicaragua, Paraguay, Sierra Leone, Senegal, Uruguay, Venezuela.
Exactly.
It's a lot of different countries, and this is for the Canadian.
That's just the Canadian ones. We have about 16 that we ship to directly, and we have 19 that we have responsibilities for. But depending on what's happening in that country, could be war, could be a number of things. But globally, we ship into over 100 countries.
And this really is a great way for a family to kick off the Christmas season. It's November. We're starting to think about Christmas. I know our kids have packed many shoeboxes over the years. So if your family is interested in obtaining this shoebox and packing it up and dropping it off somewhere, have a look at this. This is the locations.
Well, this
where
is
you can find
the
out.
collection week is coming up, November 19th to 25. So you need to find out. You need to pack your shoebox, and you can find out where the nearest location is, I guess, by going on to SamaritansPurse.ca or calling 1-800-303-1269 and find out where your collection center is.
Yeah.
That's exciting, Randy.
It is, yeah. So someday come.
All right.
Come along
We
with
love
us.
it. Thank you, Randy, for being with us.
Well, thank you so much for having us.
Always a highlight Operation Christmas Child. Thanks, Randy.
Thanks a lot.